Yeah, I've heard a lot about the ineffectualness of a number of years of the Guild. Um, the, the truth is there are things that can only be gotten with a strike, and there are many, many other worthwhile things that can never be gotten with a strike. And it is a balance between those things. The union always has to be prepared to strike for those things that can only be gotten through a strike. Sometimes that's a single issue. Sometimes it's an issue that comes out of circumstance, being tested by the other side, whether there is actually unity. I mean, you know, routinely, someone is going to come and try and rob the house. And when they discover they can't do it, they go away. And they go away for a while until they say, you know, we haven't tried that in a long time. Let's see if we can get in. So we have to do that. And occasionally there will be issues that come up that you can only win through a strike. It's that central. And we ran up against one of those in kind of a combination of those two types of events in 2007. But there are also many, many things that you can only get without a strike, in which you are talking. And I believe that the strongest guild is one that is ready to strike, has a unified membership, and yet is prepared to talk and to be cordial and to understand that the people that you're negotiating with have their own point of view, even though you disagree with it, and they have their own set of concerns. And that's best done by some kind of direct communication in which they understand what your position is. You may not always agree to it. You certainly cannot be weak in those circumstances, because they will take advantage of that weakness, because they certainly want to and feel that their job is to keep as much money for themselves and their stockholders as possible. That's how they get paid. But at the same time, there are many, many things that we've gotten that we only got through having better relationships. And you know, one of them that I've spoken about before is the quarterly health banking system, which came about through several years of very, very hard work by a number of trustees, a number of people on the board, who worked up a relationship with the management trustees in the health fund, in which they trusted us and believed that we were being genuine in saying that it would be very good for our members to have the ability to bank quarters when they have overpaid into the fund, because the way in which we're employed means that sometimes you're going to be covered and sometimes you're not. And we had a number of instances in which very prominent screenwriters that everybody in the room on the management side knew had fallen out of coverage at the height of their careers because of the time in between their writing assignments. And they came forward and did that for us. That's not possible during a strike or during a strike footing. The deal to get the internet, the 1.2% on internet rentals, came about through personal relationships. That came about because there was a conversation that happened, you know, that said, what do we need to get this closed? And that was the moment at which you can say, I need this to get that closed. That's the only way we're going to get there. Those things come about from having trust between the people that you're negotiating with. It doesn't mean you're being soft. It doesn't mean you're being easy. Nobody wanted to give it on the other side. But they realized that we were dead serious and we weren't going away. And they also realized what I thought they had realized, that meant that we were not giving up any notion that we were going to have a jurisdiction over anything that was happening on the internet. So it's a balance. It's a constant balance. The thing that we have right now is an extraordinary amount of military power within the Guild. Now we have to prove to them that we can actually make strides with diplomatic power. We may need to be in a strike again in a couple of years. Who knows? I doubt it, but who knows? But they need to understand that just because we're not perhaps going to take a strike right away, there are things that we need and we're going to have to do. And if they don't do it, we'll be back into strike mode. And that's a balance. That's a very careful balance. And it's not appeasement, and it's not weakness. It's suggesting that no business goes forward well if every few years there's a massive disruption to the business cycle. They're business people.